Alright, everyone. For today's topic, I want to make a short video as a reaction to another YouTube video I saw, which made me think about stuff. And the video in question is from a channel I never heard about it. It was just recommended to me on YouTube. The channel's name is Shredded Nerd. He has 128,000 subs, and the name of the video is called Millennial Music. And the video itself is 22 plus minutes of decently researched, opinion throwing and stuff that he has, but it is backed up by the source material, which is quote unquote millennial music. This like, yeah, I'm not gonna explain what it is. I mean, if anyone of you guys, if you know, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. And there was something that stuck out to me quite a lot. Obviously, the themes of this type of music is very like hunky dory, bouncy, like 2000s era Obama, whatever. Like people thought that everything was going fine and whatnot, even though in reality we know that like a lot of bad things have been set in motion. But one theme made me think and realize just how deep the rabbit holes, and I'm not how rabbit hole goes, sorry, and I'm not sure if this is by design, by people who own record companies and try to push a narrative, or the artists themselves already being poisoned by the cultural malaise that's been going on for decades now, and just simply reflecting the effects of what they have been programmed. But whenever this type of music had like songs that were with a romantic theme, it it really kind of trivialized it, Like a very famous example, I think, is that song, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna quickly look it up. There you go. It's from Passenger Let Her Go, right? And it really kind of, uh, I'm not sure if I can use the word, glorifies the idea of breaking up, and that being with somebody in an intimate relationship is just something temporary. It's completely normal for it to be considered a temporary pleasure trip, nothing more than that. And realistically speaking, this type this type of mentality is exactly poison. It is exactly what destroys society at a very root base level, in such a way that it's quite insidious. I mean, because the formula goes like this: when you're trying to trivialize serious things, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that the current cultural narrative tries to trivialize and make it seem like no more than some pleasure trip, than some hedonistic slot machine type of do what thou wilt, right? But I mean, this trivialization of relationships is extremely dangerous, because if you really think about it, intimate loving relationships, right, they are practically the first step to building something more than just your own existence. Like, for example, let's say a family, right? The family is basically the building block of an entire society or civilization or group or whatever you want to call it. The moment you are like trivializing something as serious as that, or at least promoting the trivialization of this, it is the same as facilitating its destruction, and we can see the effects of this. Now, whether this music is simply people reflecting the effects that this has already been trivialized since the 1960s, like since Woodstock '69 with the free love stuff, and the boomer hippies and whatnot. Like, this has been long in the making. So whether this is simply like an effect of the people who got used to this type of stuff, just speaking it out, kind of coping, or even further promoting and digging the grave into this, is irrelevant. But it's just got me thinking, and it just made me think to why not release a rant about the topic, right? Just release a rant to give a few opinions, because that's what this channel is all about. So yeah, and of course some people will say, like, I mean, this just simply further proves that people have been, like, kind of brainwashed with this type of stuff. They say, like, oh, you don't buy a car without test driving it or whatever. Like, basically implying that if you meet somebody and you you have to be in some kind of crappy, hedonistic type of relationship before you take any serious step. Practically, like, this in my opinion is still wrong. Like, these things should never be taken lightly. They should be taken very serious. And I don't want to hear arguments like, oh, you gotta learn how to do the sex stuff. Dude, that's not, I mean, that's another thing that, when trivialized, leads to all kinds of problems. Like, don't even get me started. Like, unwanted pregnancies everywhere, jaded people, broken people getting disqualified over, like, the smallest things, from stuff like the dating pool. I can just go on and on and on and on. I think I'm already making this a bit too long. Bottom line is, this is just another thing that is getting trivialized in society, particularly in developed societies. But it's gonna spread like a cancer unless people get some level of awareness about this. But yeah, it just got the wheels turning inside my head. So I said I'm gonna start yapping about it. So yeah, that was my yap for today. Trivialization of relationships through music. Bad idea. Stay away from that. Take care, and God bless.